What is up, guys? Fado82 coming at you with the second edition of Rust solo player tips. This is going to focus specifically on a playstyle that I call the Scavenger. This involves going into the landscape and using the existing architecture, what's already there, to thrive and survive from. This fits in well with the aesthetic of Rust and also, with just how it would be with a post-apocalyptic world. You would definitely scavenge for supplies. So what this entails is going in and finding a base that's already been raided and using that base to start from. So this is going to give you a huge advantage, and you can really start on a server at any point in time and find bases that have been raided. Many clans are going to put some resources into a base, they get butthurt because they get raided and they leave the server, and you find these shells of bases that are still very useful with minimal resources you can put in there and control the base. You throw down some doors, you can very easily, as long as you can gain access to the building cabinet, gain access to everything that base has to offer. And that base we were just looking at was that was the first day of a wipe cycle, and that base can now be taken over. You can have access to large wood storage crates. A lot of resources have already been put into those bases. This is some footage from some other raided bases, and you can easily gain access to things like furnaces, large furnaces, research tables. Anything you need is probably already there in the landscape on a high pop server in Rust. So you can definitely scavenge and survive. Do you like this base right here? This is being hollowed out right now, and it'll be available for rent in about 10 minutes. Can you imagine being a clan and waking up and some naked on a beach has claimed this base by throwing out a few doors? That happens often on high pop vanilla servers like Rustified, Rustopia. These servers, you will see behavior like this. Another great strategy for solo players, and that fits in well with what a scavenger would do, is to go out at night and farm at night to have less of a presence. It's going to allow you to survive a little bit better in the landscape, but do not mistake nights in Rust. They are very dangerous, especially on higher population servers. So there's still going to be players out there who have the exact same concept as what you're doing, and far more nefarious ones as well. They're going to want to raid bases and kill you and take your resources that you're farming. But if you can farm at night in general, it's going to give you an advantage. It does, however, have some disadvantages, and you don't have the ability to really see what's going on around you quite as well. So if it's a foggy night, a bear can creep up on you, and that's something you never want to see in the middle of the night in Rust. If you are lucky enough to survive the night in Rust and you get back to your base, always as a solo player, put those resources back into your base as soon as you can. Do not log off on your base with 30,000 stone in your base. Use it immediately, upgrade to whatever you can in terms of the highest tier, and keep reinvesting those resources. Do not log off with them. As a solo player scavenging the landscape, you'll generally see a lot of large compounds, and you'll be jealous of them. There will be many members in these compounds. They'll have a lot more resources than you have as a solo player, and you will not be able to compete with these groups in a traditional sense. You most likely will not be able to raid their base. You might see their base being raided, and you can capitalize off of that as a scavenger by running into the raid with the confusion and grabbing supplies and bringing them back to your base. You can actually capitalize quite a bit off of a large raid, but you will not be one of the cool kids with a big compound. With that in mind, you have no code you need to follow in terms of a group standard, and you can fight however you want. So take the fight to the hills, take it to the darkness, flank people, and do it whatever you want. Camp bases. As a solo player, as a scavenger, you have to do what you have to do to survive. Become very proficient with the pipe shotgun and with the crossbow. The pipe shotgun is great for close range, and that crossbow is very good for long range, and they're not huge investments. This is a solo player based video, guys, but we do want to remind you that Rust is best played with friends. If you can get a buddy or two or more to play Rust, it's going to be generally a much better experience, and we have to encourage that. Go on over and check out Rustified.com. They have a Rust Players Slack if you want to expand beyond being a solo player and play with some other people but just can't find them. This might help you out, and hopefully you'll have some luck with doing that. As always, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. There's another one on the way. Fado82, peace.